and welcome to Journey into Witchcraft. I'm Lorena Freya, your guide on this magical path of self discovery and empowerment. Today, we're diving into a transformative journey, one that takes us beyond the surface into the depths of our inner selves. This is shadow work, a practice of profound healing and self acceptance. Whether this is your first time hearing about shadow work or you've been curious but unsure how to begin, this episode is for you. Together, we'll create a space that feels safe, nurturing, and empowering, where you can start exploring the hidden parts of yourself with compassion and curiosity. In this episode, we'll be uncovering the basics of shadow work, what it is, why it matters, and how it can support your growth. I'll also be sharing simple, beginner-friendly journaling prompts and tips to help you take your first steps. Shadow work doesn't have to be intimidating. It's a journey of self-love and understanding, one gentle step at a time. My intention for today is to make shadow work approachable and meaningful. There's no right or wrong way to begin this practice, only your way. Take a deep breath, release any expectations, and trust that wherever you are on this journey is exactly where you're meant to be. All right, let's begin by understanding what shadow work truly is and why it's such a powerful tool for transformation. At its heart, shadow work is the practice of turning inward to explore the parts of ourselves that we might have pushed away, ignored, or even feared. These hidden aspects of our personality, our shadow, are often formed in response to societal expectations, painful experiences, or feelings we've been taught that aren't acceptable. Think of it as the parts of you that live just out of sight, but still influence your thoughts, emotions, and actions. Carl Jung, the renowned psychologist, described the shadow self as the unconscious part of the psyche that holds all of the things we try to deny about ourselves, our fears, insecurities, desires, and even our hidden strengths. Shadow work is about gently bringing these aspects into the light. It's not about judgment or shame, but about understanding. These parts aren't bad, they're simply unacknowledged, waiting for us to listen. But why is this work important? Because our shadow influences us whether we're aware of it or not. It can show up in unexpected ways, like a sudden burst of anger, feelings of inadequacy, or patterns that seem to repeat no matter how much we try to change them. By exploring our shadow self, we gain insights into what drives us, what holds us back, and what we truly need to feel whole. Imagine your shadow as a part of yourself that's been knocking on the door, trying to get your attention. But when you finally open that door, you begin a dialogue with the parts of you that have been hurt, misunderstood, or forgotten. That's where healing begins. Now let's address a common misconception. Shadow work isn't just about negativity or dredging up pain. It's about balance. For every fear you uncover, there's courage. For every wound, there's wisdom. Shadow work can be a deeply healing and empowering experience when approached with compassion. Another myth is that shadow work is too difficult for beginners. The truth is, you don't have to tackle everything at once. It's a journey, not a sprint. By starting small and creating a safe space for exploration, you can take steps that feel manageable and meaningful for you. Remember, shadow work doesn't mean fixing yourself. You're not broken. This is about understanding and embracing all of who you are. It's about giving yourself permission to heal and grow. And you don't have to do it alone. I'm here to help guide you step by step. Now that we've explored what shadow work is, let's talk about how it can transform your life and the incredible benefits it brings. Shadow work isn't just about uncovering what's hidden. It's about using those discoveries to heal, grow, and create a deeper sense of wholeness within yourself. One of the most profound gifts of shadow work is the insight it gives you into who you truly are. When we explore our shadow, we start to notice patterns, why certain situations trigger us, why we react the way that we do, and what beliefs might be holding us back. This level of self-awareness is powerful because it helps us take control of our own narrative. Instead of feeling stuck or reactive, we begin to make choices that are aligned with our authentic selves. Think of shadow work as holding up a mirror, not to criticize, but to see yourself clearly and fully. The more you see, the more you can grow into the person you're meant to be. Shadow work is also deeply healing. Many of us carry wounds from our past, times when we felt hurt, rejected, or not enough. When we push those feelings aside, they don't disappear, they linger, shaping how we see ourselves and the world. Shadow work gives us a chance to revisit those wounds with compassion, to feel what needs to be felt, and to release what no longer serves us. This process isn't about fixing yourself, it's about honoring your experiences and allowing them to integrate into the whole of who you are. Healing doesn't mean erasing the pain, it means finding peace with it. As you do shadow work, you'll likely discover things about yourself that surprise you, parts you may have judged or avoided. But here's the beauty of it: those parts are still you, and they deserve love and acceptance too. Shadow work helps you embrace all of who you are, flaws and all, with a sense of compassion and understanding. When we stop fighting or hiding parts of ourselves, we free up so much energy. That energy can then be redirected towards living a more authentic and fulfilling life. It's incredibly empowering to say, "This is me, and I accept myself completely." Another benefit of shadow work is the freedom it brings. By shining a light on your shadow, you can break free from unconscious patterns that no longer serve you. Maybe it's a fear of failure, a tendency to self sabotage, or a belief that you're not worthy of love. When you recognize these patterns, you can choose a new way forward. Think of shadow work as unlocking a door that's been keeping you stuck. On the other side is the life you've been waiting for, the one that feels true to who you really are. Now, I know this all might sound like a lot, but remember, shadow work is a journey, not a destination. Each step you take, no matter how small, is progress. There's no rush and no right or wrong way to do this. All that matters is your willingness to begin. Next, we'll talk about how to create a safe and supportive environment for your shadow work practice and share some tips to help you get started on this empowering journey. Now that we've explored what shadow work is and the benefits it offers, let's talk about how to begin. Starting your shadow work journey can feel like a big step, but with a few simple tips, it becomes something you can approach with curiosity and compassion. Before you start, it's important to create a space where you feel safe and supported. This could be a quiet corner of your home, a cozy spot in nature, or even just a chair with a blanket and a warm cup of tea. Light a candle, play some soft music, or bring in items that make you feel grounded, like a crystal, a journal, or a photo of a loved one. This ritual of setting up your space helps signal to your mind and body that you're entering a sacred time for yourself. It doesn't have to be elaborate, it just has to feel right to you. Shadow work isn't something you need to rush through, it's a lifelong practice, and each small step is valuable. Start with what feels manageable, whether that's 5 minutes of journaling, reflecting on a single prompt, or simply sitting with a feeling that arises. To be kind to yourself as you begin. If certain emotions feel overwhelming, take a step back and ground yourself. Remember, this is your journey, and you're in control of the pace. As you begin to explore your shadow, emotions or memories might surface that you weren't expecting. Allow yourself to feel them without judgment. It's okay if they're uncomfortable. This is a space for acceptance, not perfection. One thing to keep in mind is that emotions are like waves. They rise, peak, and eventually pass. By allowing them to move through you, you're giving yourself the freedom to heal. Compassion is the cornerstone of shadow work. Treat yourself as you would a dear friend, with patience, understanding, and kindness. If you notice self critical thoughts creeping in, gently remind yourself that you're doing brave and meaningful work. This process isn't about fixing yourself again. It's about meeting all parts of you with love. Each time you show up for yourself in this way, you're building a foundation of trust and self-acceptance. Shadow work is deeply personal, and there is no one-size-fits-all approach. Maybe you feel drawn to journaling, meditation, or creating art. Perhaps you want to talk things through with a trusted friend or therapist. Follow your intuition and choose methods that resonate with you. This is your journey, and you have the wisdom to know what you need. Remember, the most important part of shadow work is simply beginning. It's okay to feel unsure or hesitant. That's part of the process. The key is to approach yourself with curiosity and an open heart. Next, I'll share some beginner-friendly journaling prompts to help guide your first steps into shadow work. These prompts are designed to be simple yet powerful, giving you a starting point to connect with your inner self. One of the most approachable ways to start shadow work is through journaling. Writing allows you to slow down, reflect, and explore your inner world at your own pace. Plus, it creates a safe place where your thoughts and feelings can be expressed freely and without judgment. If you're new to shadow work, these beginner-friendly prompts can help ease you into the process. Journaling isn't about writing the right answers or crafting perfect sentences. It's about honesty and exploration. Let your thoughts flow naturally, and don't worry if it feels messy or incomplete. The goal is to open the door to your inner self and see what emerges. First prompt: what parts of myself do I feel uncomfortable sharing with others, and why? This question invites you to gently examine the aspects of yourself that feel vulnerable or hidden. By exploring the why, you might uncover beliefs or fears that are ready to be understood and released. Second prompt is about exploring fears. What fears do I have around embracing all parts of myself? How might those fears be holding me back? Fear often keeps us from fully accepting who we are. This prompt helps you shine a light on those fears and consider how they might be influencing your choices or patterns. Remember to approach this with compassion. Fear is just another part of being human. The third prompt is about understanding your triggers. Think of a time when you felt triggered or reactive. What underlying feelings might have caused that reaction? Triggers are like clues that point to parts of ourselves that need attention or healing. Reflecting on a specific moment can help you understand what lies beneath the surface and how you might respond differently in the future. And the last prompt is about recognizing strength and shadow. What hidden strengths or qualities might be part of my shadow self? Not all aspects of the shadow are negative. Sometimes it contains talents or traits we've suppressed out of fear or conditioning. This prompt encourages you to look for the light within your shadow. Take your time with these prompts. You don't need to answer all of them at once, or even fully answer one in a single sitting. Shadow work is a process, and journaling is just one tool to help support you along the way. If other thoughts or emotions come up while writing, follow them. This practice is about exploration, not restriction. Trust that whatever arises is exactly what you need to uncover in this moment. Here are a few tips to make your journaling practice even more meaningful. First is to create a ritual. Light a candle, take a few deep breaths, or sip a calming tea before you begin. Second is to set a timer. Start with 5 to 10 minutes so it doesn't feel overwhelming. And last is to reflect afterwards. Once you're done, take a moment to read over what you wrote. Notice any insights or emotions that surface. Journaling is a conversation with yourself, a way to listen deeply and honor all the parts of you who you are. Be patient, be kind, and let your words guide you towards greater understanding. Next, I'll share some closing thoughts and affirmations to support you as we continue your shadow work journey. As we bring this episode to a close, I want to take a moment to acknowledge the courage it takes to even consider shadow work. Exploring your inner self is no small thing. It's a brave act of self love and growth. Whether you've started journaling, reflected on the prompts, or are simply sitting with the idea of shadow work, know that every step forward, no matter how small, is meaningful. Let's close with an affirmation to carry with you. I am safe in exploring my inner self with love and compassion. Take a deep breath and let those words settle into your heart. You are worthy of this time and space to heal and grow. If you're ready to dive deeper into your shadow work journey or simply want to connect with others on a similar path, I'd love for you to join our Coven in the Journey into Witchcraft Facebook group. The safe, supportive space where we share insights, experiences, and encouragement with one another. For those of you who want even more resources, consider joining us over on Patreon. Patrons get early access to every podcast episode, along with written notes and prompts from each episode to guide your practice. It's a way to take what you've learned here and integrate it more fully into your spiritual journey. Thank you for spending this time with me and for your openness to explore shadow work. Remember, you're not alone on this path. Together, we're creating a passionate space to grow, heal, and embrace all parts of ourselves. I can't wait to connect with you in our Coven or on Patreon. Until next time, take care of yourself and keep shining your unique light. Blessed be.